Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to make a card using the new products from the Cat Scrappiness store. The cloud background die is new and the clouds are new from the He Is Risen set. Here is the dies for the clouds, and they cut out two nice puffy clouds. We're going to use both clouds on our card today. And then the cloud background die is really nice. It cuts really cool clouds into the background of your card, but it just stitches them. It doesn't actually cut them out. So this is a lot of fun. And the card that I made previously, I used a craft colored background, but it was a feel better card, so it wasn't as bright. But I think today we're going to go ahead and make a happy birthday card. So same card, but we'll use a yellow background for the card, make it a little more cheery. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is take the background die that we cut and adhere it to our card base. And this is just your standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card base. And we're going to adhere this directly to the card base, and the nice part is it is the exact size of the card base, so it's very easy to layer on and get centered. But the adhesive glue is nice because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room to get things straight and centered. So then we're going to put this aside for later, and we're going to work on the rainbow now. So the rainbow on the card is actually half circles that I cut out using the double stitched circle dies from Cat Scrappiness. And let me go ahead and show you how I did that. The good thing about this card is that it gives you a chance to use a lot of your scraps from your scrap paper. So here are the double stitched circle dies, and to make this card, again I took some scraps from my scraps and I just went in color order. So for the red part of the rainbow, I took the largest double stitch circle die and I took the second largest double stitch circle die, and I laid them inside of each other, and I laid them on the cardstock, and I passed this through the vagabond, and what came out was actually two pieces, the inside of the circle and then the piece that actually looks like the rainbow. So that's a really nice feature that you can get if you use two dies together. You can get a frame. If I was cutting an entire circle, I would have a frame, but all I need obviously is half the circle, so I only put half the circle onto the cardstock. And then when I was ready to do the orange, basically the same idea, and what I did was I kept the second largest circle, I put the largest one away, and I took the next circle down, and what I did was I flipped the die upside down so I know I had used it already. So the next two sizes, I again laid them inside of each other, and what I didn't show you with the red is I took a little bit of tape just to keep them in place while I ran them through the die cut machine, and that helps to give you, to keep them even. And then I'll show you one more just so you can see the process. Next obviously was the yellow. I kept the smallest die right there, put the bigger one away, brought the next smallest die in, laid it on my cardstock, taped it in place, ran it through the die cut machine, and again it gave me two pieces, the half circle and the frame. And obviously all this is all we need for the rainbow, so we got rid of this piece. And then basically you get the idea. The next was the green. So I put that die away, took the next smallest one, Turned it upside down on the green, taped it down, ran it through, and I got my green half circle. And then obviously same idea with the blue. Take the larger die, put it away, and take the very smallest die and place it down on my blue cardstock. Halfway, because that's all I need. And that's all there is to it. There are only 6 dies in this set, so you can only go to blue. So I am missing purple for the rainbow, but I was okay with that because it still looked like a pretty complete rainbow. So then the next thing is getting the rainbow adhered together. So now we've got our clouds we're going to use later, and we've got our rainbow pieces. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to flip these pieces over so we can tape them down to each other on the opposite side because we don't want to see the tape. So very easy now, we're going to lay them inside each other. They don't have to match up here at the bottom because we're going to be hiding that with the clouds. So the yellow, the green, and the blue. And once they're laying a nice pattern, I'm just going to take some plain Scotch tape, and I'm actually going to tape down the back of this just so it stays in place. And if there's any hanging over the edge, you don't have to worry because you can cut it off when you're done. But you just want to make sure that while you're taping that your half circles stay in order. And then if the Scotch tape is over, you can just snip it off. Okay, and then when you have it the way you want it, it's going to lay down on the card like this. So you can see these clouds are actually going to cover up the ends of the rainbow. So what we'll do is just snip these even. Like this on the card. This is going to cover the top. This is going to cover the bottom. And then what we're going to do is I'm actually going to stamp the sentiment on the large cloud just like I did on this card. So I did Feel Better on this one, and I'm going to do Happy Birthday on this card. So I'm using the Wavy Sayings from Lawn Fawn, and I'm going to use the Happy Birthday sentiment. And these stamps come with dies, but I'm just going to use the sentiment today. Okay, we're going to take Happy Birthday. And what I'm going to do with these clouds is I'm going to ink the edges of them in tumbled glass just to give them a little bit of color around the edges before I stamp. Just a light dusting, nothing too heavy. This might be the first video I'm actually in focus the entire time. Might be the first video where I'm actually in camera the whole time. Okay, so after we ink the edges, I'm gonna go ahead and take our happy birthday stamp. With the large block and the large cloud. I'll take some VersaFine Onyx ink, my favorite black ink, ink it up and stamp. It's going to go on there. It's going to go on there. So what we're going to do now is glue the rainbow down. We're going to eyeball it. I think we're going to pop these up with some foam tape. And then to make the little raindrops coming off the cloud, I actually have a very old punch in my stash that makes a teardrop shape. So what I did with the scraps of paper while I was cutting out the circles was I went ahead and cut out one teardrop or raindrop shape for each circle. And then I actually put some Gina K crystalline drops on these raindrops just to give them the shine. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll actually pop these raindrops up on tiny foam tape. I'm going to do the Gina K drops. I also took some stickles just to give those clouds a nice shiny border. So there you have it, the two cards using the stitched cloud background die. It's amazing what a different color background can do for a card and just give it a different look. So don't forget to check out the cloud background die in the shop. It puts these really cool stitched clouds into the background. And don't forget to use my code LISA10 to save 10% on your order. You can check out all the other new releases that are available now as well. Thank you so much for joining me today, and have a great day. Bye-bye.